we veer into another very germane, conversation, very relevant at this point in time. We had a discourse with the acting High Commissioner of the Canadian High Commission to Ghana. I'm talking about Sarah Nichols, and we're discoursing. In fact, it was an interaction between the two of us, between her and me, and we're discoursing on inclusive governance, inclusive democracy, women's empowerment, women in governance, and of course, election 2020 and what the expectations are ahead of that. Do catch the interview now on the AM show. In Canada, both languages, English and French, are spoken. I'd like to say bonjour.
Merci et bienvenue.
Merci beaucoup. Right, so it's been quite an experience, I'm sure, your tenure here. How long have you been in Ghana?
I've been in Ghana for a year.
A year already?
Yeah, and 2 more to go. So
right.
Yes.
And now you're acting High Commissioner.
I'm acting now.
How long have you been in this acting capacity?
Almost a year, and I hope you'll come back when we have a full-fledged High Commissioner to interview them and get to know them as well.
Who knows? I mean, I could be coming back to speak to you.
We'll see.
Right. So let's delve into Ghana-Canada relations.
Sure.
And it's been long-standing. We've been at this for a pretty long time. I was, before this interview, information about how long the roots go. 114 years, 1906, missionaries coming to Ghana and all of that, and 60 years of cooperative work. Now, what can you say about the current state of Ghana-Canada relations? Where exactly do we find ourselves?
Well, you're very right that our relations go back a long, long time. Our international cooperation program that we established here in Ghana was the first we established globally. So the ties are strong and long-standing. Our development assistance was the core and the anchor for many years. We spend upwards of $50 million a year investing in improving agriculture, health, education, gender equality here in Ghana. But it's interesting, as the time has gone, we're seeing deepening of trade and investment ties, strengthening of our peacekeeping and defense ties. But the thing that's at the heart of it is there's really strong people-to-people ties. I can't travel far here in Ghana without meeting someone that has schooled in Montreal or has family in Toronto. So it's the people that keep us grounded, and I'm sure that will be the theme going forward.
Now, on the back of that long-standing relationship, one of the things that come to mind when you think of Canada is that stable, democratic history that you have. Now, you've been here for quite a while. When it comes to democratic practice in Ghana, there are matters that we're going to delve into, but what is the picture you see in terms of Ghana's trajectory of democratic practice?
Well, Ghana has been a beacon of democracy for the region, and I don't see that changing. And our upcoming electoral process that's going to be rolling out in the coming days, I'm sure will solidify that place. Fair, transparent, inclusive elections are that foundation of democracy, and that's our shared principle across Canada-Ghana ties. We hold those values true to heart on both sides.
Right, and maybe a lot we can learn from Canada as well. Well, bilateral relations, a lot you can learn from us too. But when it comes to the specific issue of democratic practice, recently your premier was re-elected, Justin Trudeau, and all of that. Looking at goings on across the world, even just, should I say, south of you, the United States, and what we've seen there, what would you say are some of the lessons we can pick from Canada's experience, democratically speaking?
Well, our focus here in Ghana and globally is inclusive governance. And, thinking of our experience here in Ghana, there has been a long history of women's participation in political process. There are strong activists at the community level that are making sure that people's voices are heard. And, sadly, only 13% of parliamentarians here in Ghana are women. And there's many reasons for that, and I think it's fair that in the 16 days of activism, which is happening right now, that reasons of harassment and bullying and a focus on everything except the ideas are what comes into play to prevent women from engaging in political process. So for us, this is not unique to Ghana, it happens in Canada as well. Right. And what we have focused on as a mission and as a team here is to really make sure that we're supporting citizen engagement so that people are informed and they feel safe to engage in the political process.
So you're targeting the people as far as this aspect is concerned, but how much more do we have to do from the governance standpoint, from the leadership standpoint? Because no matter what the people do, even if women are making themselves available to get into high office and contribute their quota, it would take some level of engagement from the powers that be as well to make room, to make it accessible for them to participate. So what more do you feel we can do on that higher level to sort of bring about this dream that, you know, we have, that we share?
Well, we're seeing it at the highest levels, call for peaceful process. And I imagine that that narrative will stay strong and hold at the closer and closer we get to voting, and then as results are being tabulated. And, you know, as an impartial third party, you know, all that we can do is to continue to focus on that as well, to say that peaceful elections and transparent process that's the foundation of democracy around the world.
Right. And I'm sure you're looking forward to free, fair, transparent, peaceful elections in Ghana, because, I mean, we all find ourselves here. What has been Canada's participation, level of engagement with Ghana on that front? What exactly has the High Commission been up to?
Well, I'm really excited to share with you that we've invested in 5 amazing organizations through our Canada Fund for Local Initiatives. There's one that I really wanted to focus on. They're called the Youth Bridge Foundation, and their focus is on first-time voters, which I think is such a critical investment to make sure that young people who have never participated in the political process before, they understand the expectations, they understand the issues, and they're mentored by other young people that can talk to them about how they can engage others, how they can make sure that their peers are engaged. And it's not just on voting day, you know, it's in the lead up, it's in talking to their family members, it's in engaging in their communities, and to make sure that young people, persons with disabilities, women in rural areas, that people have the support that they need to engage. So Youth Bridge is one of these organizations we're working with, One Up is another, Send Ghana, the African Women's Lawyers Association. These are really critical organizations that are supporting the people to engage. And so we're really proud to be doing that.
And we're proud of you too, that you're doing that. But something that just came to mind, observer missions and all of that. Does Canada have any system beyond, you know, the organizations you've mentioned? Do you have an observer team in the country currently? What's the situation?
We don't field our own observer team, but in 2012 and 2016 we engaged in other election observation teams, and for this year we are working with our EU colleagues and our UK colleagues to contribute both our local and Canadian staff to be part of those observer teams. So on election day we'll be out there, you know, making sure that
will you be out there?
I'll be out there, yeah. Right. Everyone will be out just to be part of it. You know, it's an exciting day in a country when there's voting, when the people are speaking, so we'll be there.
Right. Now, I do know that, I mean, other countries operating in Ghana have different, there's USAs, there's the DFID, there are so many of them, Danida, among others. And I know that Canada, you know, Ghana was one of the first countries to actually benefit from Canadian aid and all of that on the continent. What is your parent organization when it comes to financial aid, and what is the footprint you have so far? What are the activities you can speak of when it comes to economic engagement with Canada in Ghana?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because our Foreign Affairs Department is an amalgamated department. So our development assistance, our foreign affairs, and our trade is all together through Global Affairs Canada. So that is our footprint here in the country, and that is our main engagement. So depending on the focus, our trade team has their portfolio, our development assistance team has their portfolio. So there are great things that come with amalgamation, and one of them is being a one-stop shop.
Right. All of us have, just riding on the back of what you've said, economically speaking or financially speaking, COVID-19 has hit the world and all of us have struggled, but some countries more than others.
Absolutely.
And Ghana, I mean, we've been pretty fortunate here. You would say the numbers haven't escalated to what was feared initially, but it's affected the economy. We've had to go a borrowing and all of that. What has Canada done in support of, I know you've supported some other countries, you've reached out. What has been the engagement with Ghana in that regard?
We have had some really important engagement to talk about our existing investments and how they can pivot towards supporting the needs of COVID. So as you said, COVID has had a massive impact on the economy of people. You know, the lockdown is quite a challenge. It affects livelihoods, but then how that goes forward. And so our existing initiatives have pivoted to be more supportive of health needs and economic needs. I know there's been discussions at the G20 level about global response and how to affect change in a way that makes sure that everyone has equitable access to vaccines. I should mention that Canada has contributed $220 million to the COVAX facility, which is run through Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and the commitment there is to make sure that everyone has access to the vaccine when it's or vaccines when they come. It seems like there's some that are coming as they come, but to make sure that it's fair across the board and that people get what they need. So that investment from Canada is really critical in my mind because it levels the playing field, and it's not first past the post. It makes sure everybody gets what they need.
Speaking of leveling the playing field, I mean, obviously immense contributions you're making when it comes to COVID and aiding other countries also get out of the doldrums, so to speak. But I also know that Canada, gets involved in what has to do with the poor, the vulnerable, and all of that. Mm-hmm. You have regional programs, some of them security-focused, yep. Poverty-focused, and all of that. Let's just segue briefly into that aspect. Currently, what would be the activities that the High Commission is engaging in on that specific front? Do you have any programs currently being rolled out in that area?
We have numerous investments that go across the continent through our multilateral partners, through the Global Partnership for Education, making sure that every child has access to basic education, through the Global Fund for HIV, TB, and malaria, to make sure that the health needs of those that are facing those three diseases, eradication of polio on the continent, ensuring the vaccine access, as I mentioned. Mm-hmm. So our multilateral investments are rich and long-standing.